ABC News Live.
Tonight, the final stretch of the road to the Oscars.
I thought, who is this? And the fact that he organized the March on Washington, and he was openly gay. My mind was blown.
The story ultimately belongs to them. It was made by Martin Scorsese, but made with Osage people.
It's just not comparable to anyone because she doesn't have a history. She's discovering the world in a brand new way.
After months of campaigning, millions of dollars in marketing, interviews, events, and more, we're now just hours away from the biggest night in Hollywood. Plus,
until we have executives that look like you and me and understand our culture and understand the importance, nobody else will get it.
could more Latinos on the big screen generate more money for Hollywood? Major stars like John Leguizamo flipped the script, speaking out about underrepresentation. And from Best Picture to Best Director and beyond, for some, Sunday night could be a decades-long dream come true. It's a special edition of Prime, live from the Academy Awards, and it starts right now. Davis, thanks so much for streaming with us as we bring you special live coverage from the red carpet tonight here in Los Angeles. In less than 48 hours, the biggest names in Hollywood will grace the Dolby Theater in all their glitz and glamour for the 96th Academy Awards. The final touches are now underway, and from the fashion to behind the scenes, ABC News is bringing you more access than ever before this year's Oscars. From inside the Governor's Ball to taking you, our viewers, backstage Sunday night for the Winner's Walk. Competition is fierce as Jimmy Kimmel will host the awards show for the 4th time. ABC sat down with some of the nominees. Who will walk away with Oscars gold? Who will cement their legacy in Hollywood? The potential surprises to watch out for and the history that could be in the making on Hollywood's biggest night of the year. When was that first role when you said, I can do this?
I never desired or saw this in my path. And so I guess maybe this might be the beginning. I'm seeing the spiritual, emotional impact that it's having on people.
You have talked about Bella Baxter as probably the greatest character you'll ever get to play. How so?
She's just not comparable to anyone because she doesn't have a history. She's discovering the world in a brand new way every second of every day. I don't know that I'll ever get a chance to play someone that doesn't have shame and doesn't have self-judgment.
And how have the Osage responded to all of this attention?
One of the silver linings of having been on strike when the film came out and not being able to take to carpets to talk about it, it gave the spotlight to Osage people.
You've talked before about being the Latina actress who finally gets invited to the party.
You can't win awards for roles and opportunities that don't exist. This is a character that is pivotal to the story, has so much to do, and none of the reasons that she's in the movie is to be a Latina. That, to me, is a distinction that we get to exist as full and complicated and dimensional humans.
So if you win, then what happens? You go up and no speech, just a dance party?
Maybe Oscars need everyone just stands up, has a 45-second dance party. I'm not against that. Yeah.
And joining us now on the red carpet, none other than ABC News contributor, my guy, Mike Muse. How you doing?
First of all, you look great.
Oh, thank you so much. I just try to keep up with you because you're always so dapper.
Yeah.
You know?
These actors are going to have a hard time keeping up with you, my friend. You look great.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Let's start with how this is a producer's dream this year, perhaps in different ways than it has been in the past.
Yeah. Ryan Gosling. And producers' audience, I'm sure referring to executive producers of the actual award show. So
Yes.
normally the crowd is difficult to draw in because a lot of times people just haven't seen these movies. They're very art house movies. But we had big blockbusters such as Oppenheimer and Barbie, and there's been such discourse around both of those films that a lot of viewers are going to tune in, and everyone wants to see I Am Ken perform on the stage, and then Ryan Gosling. Everyone loves Ryan Gosling, and so I think it's going to be exciting. These are what producers want to get the audience and viewers tuned in. And Lindsay, they're actually starting it earlier this year, and so them starting early this year allows more people to come in and check it out.
But I'm told that they said don't expect that we're going to go end earlier. Yeah. You're still just going to use all that extra time. You just have more of the music playing to get people to stop.
Manage the expectations.
Exactly. All right, so you mentioned Barbie. Greta Gerwig snubbed with the Best Director, but still up for Best Picture. What do you think?
I still feel some kind of way about her being snubbed for Best Director. I thought her best shot this year would have been for Best Director. She is going to be nominated for Best Picture, so we could see her walk away with the statue for that one. It is being predicted that she could walk away for Best Adapted Screenplay, but Lindsay, I think that's going to be a big challenge in tall order. That is a very competitive category. Cord Jefferson, that is the one I am actually putting my bet on, and for American Fiction. He's picked up so many awards during this award season, and what's been coming in the last minute surge is really Zone of Interest. A lot of people have an interest with Zone of Interest, and I think that has a lot of potential too to sneak in and both be a snub for Cord and also two for Greta.
And how about, because we're talking about 3 women who are up for Best Director. One of my favorites this year was Past Lives. Celine's song, of course, up for 2 nominations. What do you think?
I'm so happy for Celine. The way that she directed Past Lives, I think was very brilliant. Past Lives is a very difficult film because of the pacing, but she was very intentional for the pacing to be slower so you can really draw in that emotion and that vulnerability. That's a difficult order to accomplish, and I think she did it masterful. So I'm really excited for her with this, but I'm also too excited for her future and to see where is she going to go from here.
Because this was actually her directorial debut. Okay, so Oppenheimer, we know 12 nominations, most nominations this year. What's your favorite? What do you think is going to really grab all the statues?
Oppenheimer is going to be very dominant, I think, walking away from it. But again, I am all about what could be possible. And I think what could be possible sneaking in for Best Picture category is American Fiction. I think that has the possibility to be a snub. Also, to the holdovers. Both those films are really for the Academy, but again, a late search, Zone of Interest. The reason I keep leaning into Zone of Interest is because it won the BAFTA, the British Awards, and a large part of the voting audience for the Academy are international voters. And so because of that, I really do have a feeling that Zone of Interest could do something. But what's interesting, Lindsay, that we don't talk about often is I think it could win for Best Sound. What they did with that score, unfortunately, they had to use human pain, but there was something of the craft of sound where you use human pain as a soundtrack to really underscore what you're trying to accomplish with this film. So I think for that reason, sound might be an interesting category this year.
All right, we're going to be watching for your picks.
Yeah, let's see.
You all dressed up, all gussied up.
I'm seeing what you're going to be wearing. I mean, this is a tough one.
Mike Hughes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll be seeing you again in a little bit. The shock of an underdog winning Oscar gold over a bona fide star and the resulting tears of joy are just 2 reasons we love watching the Oscars every year. Take a look at the leading contenders and who could surprise us all. Our Chris Connolly has that story.
Oscar night brings lots of different sounds. The swell of the orchestra. Laughter for the jokes of host Jimmy Kimmel.
Give me a second to adjust my danger zone here.
And this might be the best sound of all.
And the Oscar goes to
Olivia Colman.
That's the shriek of surprise that an unexpected winner receives. Might we hear one of those on Sunday? Consider America Ferrera in Barbie.
You're supposed to stay pretty for men, but not so pretty that you tempt them too much or that you threaten other women, because you're supposed to be a part of the sisterhood, but always stand out.
The great Da'Vine Joy Randolph of The Holdovers has been piling up the supporting actress wins.
This is the last place that my baby and I were together.
But this is the first time she'll face the long-admired Ferrera. Could the Oscar be coming to America?
Barbie in the real world. That's impossible.
From American Fiction, Best Actor nominee Jeffrey Wright hailed for the stop-on-a-dime shifts in tone that make this comedy so clever.
That's me, Ellison. Yeah. He is me, and he and I are black.
Oppenheimer's Cillian Murphy is the favorite, but maybe the Academy will get it right this time. The glorious revelation that is Lily Gladstone in Killers of the Flower Moon. and previous Oscar winner Emma Stone, who dazzles in Poor Things. They're said to be the most likely to succeed in Best Actress. But for Anatomy of a Fall,
I don't want you to change your memories, you know.
Sandra Hüller acts in English, acts in French, acts with a child, acts with a dog, and testifies in court. Why not her for the Oscar? Third time should be the charm for Oppenheimer's Robert Downey Jr. in supporting actor.
Who'd want to justify their whole life?
He's been up twice before, and the town rightly loves him. Yet, consider the sheer Kenergy unleashed if Ryan Gosling wins for Barbie. His best song performance of I'm Just Ken figures to electrify the crowd. So a victory here? I mean, can you dig it? We knew that you could.
All about the Kenergy this year. Our thanks to Chris Connolly for that. There were 321 feature films eligible for this year's Academy Awards across 23 categories, with more than 9,000 members voting to decide this year's winners. ABC entertainment reporter Kelly Carter is here with us now. So much to talk about,
So
Kelly.
much.
Let's get to the biggies. Who do you think we could expect to see Best Actor, Best Actress from?
I mean, right now it's coming down to two names for Best Actor. It's Cillian Murphy and Paul Giamatti. I think that Paul Giamatti has the edge. I feel like this is his year to win, primarily because a lot of times this voting body really likes to right some wrongs, and this is the year to do that. And for Best Actress, Lily Gladstone. I think she's going to take it home. I know that Emma Stone could probably find her way in there, but Lily Gladstone, and I think it's going to be a beautiful moment when it happens, when history is made in that way.
Talking about history, also potentially a history-making year as far as actors of color who are nominated. What are you expecting potentially in there?
I mean, some beauty. You know, I think finally this is what everyone's been asking for, to see what the world looks like reflected in these nominees. Absolutely, and we're seeing that with Jeffrey Wright, Sterling K. Brown, Lily Gladstone, of course, and even behind the scenes with directors like Cord Jefferson, also a writer, Cord Jefferson. So that feels like it's a good moment, and we're shifting in the right direction and trending the way that we should be trending.
What are you most looking forward to?
I mean, I'm most looking forward to the speeches. Like, I'm excited because I'm pretty sure we know that Robert Downey Jr. is going to collect that Oscar finally, and I think that his speech is going to be epic, and I cannot wait to hear what he has to say.
All right, so you think that he's going to win for Best Supporting Actor.
I do.
How about Best Supporting Actress? You think Dave Vine is going to
It's definitely going to be Dave Vine. I think she's going to get it. She has been winning every major award she's been up for, and I don't see why this is the one that she doesn't. I think that the two short things going into Sunday, Robert Downey Jr. and Dave Vine.
All right, you got your money on it?
I got my money on it.
All right, Kelly Carter, more predictions coming up next. Thank you, as always, for joining us. And we're going to get back to our conversation in just a little bit, handicapping the Best Director, Best Picture categories later on in the hour. A new report says that while Latinos make up 19% of the U.S. population, they're only getting 4% of the lead or co-lead roles in films. ABC's Maria Elena Salinas meets with an author of the report, along with actor John Leguizamo, about the potential $18 billion being left on the table.
I feel hallelujah.
After years of sounding the alarms, Latinos in Hollywood can finally feel some vindication.
There is a God.
McKinsey & Company, a research and consulting firm, has released a new report detailing some of the shortcomings in Hollywood when it comes to Latino representation.
If it goes well, no one says anything. But if it doesn't, it's your fault.
When you look at the numbers, they don't add up to just how big of a population and how important Latinos are across the board.
Our attempts at doing this are never going to stop.
We're not just there to fulfill a stereotype or check a box.
That representation, it's big. And hopefully young Latinos and Latinas are seeing that and seeing that, you know, there's other opportunities out there for us as well.
We interviewed over 100 folks across the industry, from producers, writers, entry folks. And then we looked at a huge data set, over 10 years of data, over 26,000 films, 10,000 TV shows, Nielsen variety data, and we put all that together. And the data was quite telling.
The McKinsey report states that just 4% of Latinos have co-lead or co-lead roles. And
which is pathetic.
Why do you think that is when there's an abundance of Latino talent, both for on-screen and behind the scenes?
I mean, it's sad to say, but, you know, hashtag Hollywood too white. You know, I mean, that's the problem. I mean, it's baked-in systemic racism.
Although 19% of the population is Latino, the report says we account for 29% of box office ticket sales and 24% of streaming subscribers.
Latino movies do better. They do 60% better than their counterparts with 25% less budget. And so, taking a step back, there's a real big opportunity here.
And every time you pitch a Latin project, they tell you, oh, you know, we have to do it for less. You know, it's always, you know, they're always giving you sort of the B side of the record. You know, I mean, you're getting less because it's a Latin story, because there's Latin stars, but you're not going to get great content unless you put it the same money and the same value.
We have to always be extraordinary. But somehow we're always doing it wrong.
In fact, Camilo's research suggests that there's about $18 billion in potential revenue being ignored by the industry.
What we found was these movies get nominated more often, and they actually win.
Pedro Pascal, The Last of Us!
And so when you actually put representation, what you find is it makes good business sense, upwards of $18 billion.
When you have shows like Wednesday.
The only person who gets to torture my brother is me.
The Last of Us, when you put a Latin star in it.
You trust me?
It's a huge hit.
John Leguizamo, actor, comedian, and producer, has been talking about this problem for years, dedicating much of his career to educating others about the Latino experience.
How did we become so goddamn non-existent? Until we have executives that look like you and me and understand our culture and understand the importance, nobody else will get it.
He's right. It makes actually a big difference to having Latinos across the board. It's what we call the network effect. When you have Latinos who are in positions such as executives, when you have writers, they create opportunities.
Obviously, it's, you know, the gatekeepers seeing us as people who clean their homes and service industry, when we have our uncles and aunts who are doctors and accountants and heroes and firemen and policemen, we know the diversity in our community.
I mean, we have Afro-Latinos, we have South American Latinos. There are 680 million Latinos around the world, and there's only about 10% in the US, so it's a very big global group.
That's the importance of having Latinos in positions of power, because we feed it back. It becomes a feedback loop into our community, and we can uplift everybody. This is the people I grew up and I loved and I laughed with and cherished, and who gave me a sense of pride and love. You know, so how can I not fight for them?
What would your recommendations be to the powers that be in Hollywood to make it a more equitable industry?
I'd like to get Latino executives in there. I need that desperately. And secondly is greenlight Latin projects. Flip your white stars and put a Latin star instead.
And give them a chance.
Yes, to grow, to get to that spot where you can greenlight any movie.
So grateful for Maria Elena Salinas for that conversation. This morning, Bill Kramer, CEO of the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences, stressed the importance of diversity in the Academy as well.
Clearly, a part of our core mission is to sit in the DEAI space, diversify our membership, help build a pipeline of new talent for the film industry that represents the world that we live in. And I think you saw it reflected this year in the nominations, incredibly diverse nominations. It is a core part of our mission and the work that's in front of us.
We'll have more here from the Oscars red carpet and some of the biggest stories of the day when we come back here on Prime. Our entertainment aficionados flesh out what could be some of the evening's biggest surprises. But next, a United Airlines Boeing 737 veers off a taxiway in Houston. The 166 aboard scrambling for safety. That and our other top stories of the day.
Whenever news breaks,
we are here in Israel, a nation at war after that brutal surprise attack by Hamas.
On the ground in Ukraine, reporting from Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
In rolling forward, this tornado tore through this little town.
From the most devastating disaster in Hawaii.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
In Iceland, let's go.
Traveling
with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story,
From the front lines, from southern Israel,
Outside the Gaza Strip.
in Beirut.
From the FBI.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London.
streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is, we're going to take you there.
You're streaming
ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live, streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
Yet another avalanche warning that's up.
To catch you up with what happened overnight. A dangerous ice storm is impacting the morning commute.
What's happening today? Escalating tensions in the Middle East.
What people are talking about. The migrant crisis.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
How does billionaire sound?
Sounds good to me. The moose started chasing a dog.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
We are part of an operation.
Is this our combat operations center?
We're approaching the gate. Militants came in from different directions. Nuclear reactor. So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag.
Not a carrying it.
How important it made to USA. Great work.
Hi, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Ismail? David.
I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
Watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
Last year it was champagne, but they switched it back to red. Welcome back to the red carpet here in Los Angeles. The 96 Academy Awards may be the big story, but I'd like to throw it back over to my colleague Phil Lipoff in New York for the other top stories of the day. Hey, Phil.
Hey, Lindsay, how are you? Thank you. It was a scare for all those aboard a Boeing 737 in Houston this morning. The plane going off the taxiway in the rain, getting stuck in the grass. Its left wing touching the ground in yet another scary day for the airline industry. Armola Lengi tonight with the report.
Tonight, the FAA and NTSB investigating yet another incident after a United plane skidded off the taxiway in Houston.
At 2477, I see in the grass rolling the trucks en route.
The Boeing 737 MAX 8 traveling from Memphis carrying 166 passengers and crew, landing this morning at George Bush Airport. But as it exited the taxiway, the plane rolled into the grass.
It seemed like the plane was trying to is going a little too fast and just slid off. That engine's sitting down on the ground, buddy.
The passengers exiting onto the airfield. No one injured.
Please exit the aircraft slowly, carefully, one row at a time.
Mike Allard filming this video. You can see the plane's nose wheel suspended off the ground.
Wow, look at that. Look at that wing. It was more scary when you slid off and you realized the whole plane's tilted and we're in the dirt over on that one wing.
United stating passengers were bused to the terminal, adding, "We are thankful for the actions of our crew to deplane all passengers safely." But after that alarming video showing a United plane losing a tire upon takeoff just yesterday, and this United engine fire on Monday caused by bubble wrap sucked inside, there are questions about plane safety.
There's no reason for the flying public to have any additional concern. If a tire falls off, that's either a materiel failure or a maintenance problem. If bubble wrap gets sucked down the engine of an airplane, then that's the airport's fault. So no real tie between these three incidents of United.
Well, Phil, United saying tonight they take, quote, every safety event seriously and will investigate each of the incidents that occurred this week. And Boeing saying that they are providing support to United and to those investigators who were on the ground investigating that incident in Houston. Phil?
All right, Mola, thank you. A new storm system is targeting millions in the Northeast. The third this week. There are also tornado concerns in the south from the same system. Senior meteorologist Rob Marciano is tracking it all for us. Rob.
Hey, Phil, this is a big system. Really encompasses everybody in the eastern half of the country, and it is barreling off to the east with flooding rains and severe weather really being the main threats, especially down in the south, where we've got to watch out for the next couple of hours, includes New Orleans and Mobile, Alabama. North of I-10, I-20, that's where the heavy rain is. You see it there through Montgomery, Alabama. Big flood watch that includes much of Georgia. Atlanta's been a wet week for you, so potentially some flooding rains tonight into tomorrow morning. The severe weather threat slides to the panhandle of Florida, South Georgia, and South Carolina. Look at that radar expected expected to be lit up there. But that's when the northern part of this thing begins to take shape in the afternoon. The heavier rains moving through much of Pennsylvania and through D.C. and Philly. By 7 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, Philly to New York, Metro will see the heavy stuff. Probably see some ponding on the roadways, some isolated flooding, some snow in the higher elevations of northern New York and northern New England, yes. But the rain's going to be really the main headline before this begins to clear out, not until Sunday afternoon. But, you know, we've seen a lot of rain here in the east really all week long. So the ground is saturated. It won't take much to see some flooding here over the next 48 hours. Phil?
Yeah, no doubt ponding on the roads as well. Rob, thanks so much. Turning now to the race for the White House, President Biden wasting no time hitting the campaign trail fresh off of his State of the Union speech. Here's ABC News Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
Tonight, fueled by what his campaign considers a home run State of the Union, President Biden heading straight for battleground Pennsylvania, his must-win home state.
Did you all see Joe last night? Wasn't he on fire?
Biden's team confident the 81-year-old president showed he has the energy and vigor to fight for a second term.
Our freedoms really are on the ballot this November. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans are trying to take away our freedoms. That's not an exaggeration. Well, guess what? We will not let him. We will not let him.
In his speech, the president calling out Donald Trump for pressuring Republicans to kill a bipartisan border deal because Trump wants to run on immigration and didn't want Biden to have the political win.
The toughest set of border security reforms we've ever seen. Oh, you don't think so? Oh, you don't like that bill, huh? That conservatives got together and said it was a good bill? I'll be darned. That's amazing.
Biden urging Republicans to work with him.
Look, folks, we have a simple choice. We can fight about fixing the border, or we can fix it. I'm ready to fix it. Send me the border bill now.
The president also sounding a campaign rallying cry on abortion, directly addressing the Supreme Court justices seated right in front of him.
Look, it's a decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. The Supreme Court majority wrote the following, and with all due respect, justices, women are not without electoral power. Electoral or political power. You're about to realize just how much you're right about that.
Biden thanking his Vice President Kamala Harris for leading that charge. Today, Harris hitting the campaign trail too, heading to battleground Arizona. Earlier, I spoke with her and asked about Republicans being so focused on her.
We've seen this argument over and over again from Republicans that the candidate they are really running against is you, that given the president's age, there is a chance that you may have to take over for him. What do you say to voters who are sold on the president but may not be sold on you about this potential possibility?
Well, first of all, I think what we saw in President Joe Biden is somebody who is prepared to take on a second term and do it with passion and do it with vigor. If necessary, which will not be the case, I am ready. But the bottom line is our president is full of vigor and passion and perspective to take on another term. And I'm standing right with him.
I also asked her whether the president would debate Trump.
We'll get to that at some point, and we'll deal with that.
Late today, Biden himself asked if he'll debate his rival.
Depends on his behavior.
And Mary joins me now. Mary, the president is set for a busy weekend. Where's he headed?
He is planning to hit the campaign trail hard, blitzing several key states in the coming days, including Georgia tomorrow, and then Michigan and Wisconsin next week. Phil, the president's looking to capitalize on this momentum as the general election now gears up. Phil.
All right. Mary Bruce from the White House. Mary, thank you.
Thank you.
To New York now, where former President Trump has posted a $91.6 million bond against what he owes writer E. Jean Carroll while he appeals her defamation case. Trump also cementing control over the Republican National Committee, installing his hand-picked team to lead that organization, including his daughter-in-law, Lara Trump. Rachel Scott with the details. Rachel joins me now. Rachel, what are some of the RNC members saying about paying the former president's legal fees?
Yeah, well, you heard from Lara Trump there. She says that she wants every single dollar to go towards helping Donald Trump win this election in November. RNC members are not ruling out the possibility of using donations to pay for Donald Trump's legal fees. And this is something they have a history of doing. They did do this in the past when the former president left the White House, Phil.
All right, Rachel Scott tonight. Rachel, thank you. Next tonight, day 2 of testimony in the trial of James Crumbley, the Michigan father charged with involuntary manslaughter in his son's deadly school shooting. Today, we learned what Crumbley did when he heard there was an active shooter at the school. Here's ABC's Trevor Ault.
Tonight, a Michigan judge restricting the jailhouse communications of James Crumbley as he's on trial for his alleged role in his son's deadly school shooting. The Oakland County Sheriff's Office saying Crumbley's access to a telephone and electronic messaging has been limited due to threatening statements he made, but did not say who he allegedly threatened. Today, the jury of 9 women and 6 men, most of them parents, many of them gun owners, hearing from the gun store manager who sold Crumbley the weapon that his then 15-year-old son used to carry out his massacre.
That he had had his eye on that for quite some time.
She testified Crumbley received this cable lock and a gun safety pamphlet with the purchase and certified on this form he was buying the gun for himself. Prosecutors playing this video, James Crumbley telling police what he did when he heard there was an active shooter at his son's high school.
Immediately raced home and found a gun in his hand. That's when I called you guys.
Prosecutors playing that panic 911 call.
I have a missing gun and my son is at the school.
At her trial, Jennifer Crumbley testified it was her husband's job to secure the family's weapons at home.
It was more his thing, so I let him handle that.
James Crumbley has already spent more than 2 years in jail. As part of this new order, he can now only communicate with his lawyer or clergy. His wife previously testified the couple hasn't spoken to each other since they were arrested. Phil?
All right, Trevor, thank you. And now to the Israel-Hamas war and the new tragedy in Gaza. Hamas is reporting that 5 children were killed by an aid drop from an unidentified country today. ABC's Tom Sufi-Burridge is in the region for us.
This is the moment humanitarian aid dropped from the sky over Gaza and turned deadly. Pallets raining down, that parachute appearing to fail, plunging to the ground. Chaos as desperate Palestinians run to scoop up aid. What you don't see, 5 children crushed to death by a pallet, according to the Hamas-run health ministry. Tonight, the Pentagon saying it wasn't a U.S. airdrop that caused the casualties.
We've confirmed that all of our aid bundles landed safely on the ground.
With the UN saying more than 500,000 Gazans are facing starvation, President Biden caught on this hot mic moment after the State of the Union, speaking about Prime Minister Netanyahu.
I told him, baby, show me pieces.
The president quickly interrupted by an aide, today saying Netanyahu needs to do more to get aid in. And tonight, a coalition of countries backing President Biden's plan for the U.S. military to build a temporary pier off Gaza's coast to allow aid in by sea. President Biden saying the Israelis will provide security, promising there will be no U.S. boots on the ground in Gaza. And just days before the start of the holy month of Ramadan, with no deal on a ceasefire, Hamas tonight calling on worshippers to march on Jerusalem's Al-Aqsa Mosque. Tensions flaring ahead of Friday prayers.
Well, you can see there's real tension here. Young men are not allowed into the Al-Aqsa Mosque up there. The police are moving them away.
Then peaceful prayers outside the walls, amid fears for what the future may hold.
And Phil, just moments ago, President Biden addressing a possible ceasefire before Ramadan, saying it's looking tough. And on that mission to build a pier off Gaza, the Pentagon saying Hamas should not target that aid operation if it truly cares about the Palestinian people. Phil?
Tom Sufi-Burridge in Israel for us. He paved a cocaine superhighway to the United States. That is how a federal prosecutor described what the former president of Honduras, Juan Orlando Hernandez, did while he held the highest office. A trial that lasted 2 weeks at the Southern District of New York, right here in Manhattan. Joining us now is ABC's Aaron Katersky. Aaron, you've been following the trial that led us to this verdict for years now. Catch us up on how the former president went from being a U.S. ally to convicted drug trafficker.
This in Honduras, Phil, was the trial of the century. And in fact, when the verdict came from the jury,
Today, there were dozens of Hondurans outside federal court Manhattan burst into cheers, waving flags. They were carrying signs of opposition. It was an incredible scene to have a former head of state of another country on trial in the United States. Not unprecedented, but extraordinary. But according to federal prosecutors, and this was part of their closing argument, the defendant thought he had everyone fooled. He thought he could hide behind extraditing some drug dealers, passing some laws, giving some speeches. But in truth, the real Juan Orlando Hernandez, they said, that's the one who the evidence showed was at the center of one of the largest and most violent cocaine trafficking conspiracies in the world.
There were some wild moments. One of them is when Hernandez took the stand in his own defense. Have you ever seen a foreign former president take the stand in his own defense before? His or her own defense?
Manuel Noriega was famously in Florida in the early 1990s. He did not testify, so this was an extraordinary moment. And his defense was, they're just out to get me, meaning the drug dealers themselves. And in fact, the defense said that this was not the conspiracy the government is talking about. The conspiracy was among the drug dealers to try to get Juan Orlando Hernandez for cracking down on them. The jury did not buy that.
No. All right. Well, how big of an impact did this have on the U.S., not only in terms of drugs, but everything that comes with the crisis at the southern border?
Well, it turned Honduras into a narco state. In fact, we spoke to a number of experts who said that Juan Orlando Hernandez was bigger than Pablo Escobar. Pablo Escobar controlled a region, a territory. Juan Orlando Hernandez controlled a country, and he turned it into a playground for drug cartels. And for Hondurans who wanted to escape that, of course, leads to a surge at the southern border.
All right. It's been a long time coming. Aaron, thank you so much.
Thanks, Phil.
Now to the new report showing the U.S. job market is still booming. Employers added 275,000 new jobs last month, beating expectations once again. The report did show unemployment ticking up slightly and wage growth slowing, but checked many boxes for the Federal Reserve, which is looking into lowering interest rates in the coming months and reinforcing hopes for the economy's soft landing post-pandemic. New inflation numbers are due out next week. But right now, let's head back to Lindsay Davis out in Los Angeles on the red carpet at the Dolby Theater. Lindsay.
Thank you, Phil. Still ahead here on Prime, our latest installment of Maui Strong. Since the devastating wildfires there killed more than 100 people and scorched the historic town of Lahaina, it is women who have stepped in to preserve the island's unique ecosystem and ensure that families can remain and rebuild on what is treasured property. But next, just how long has it been since Robert De Niro's last Oscar nomination? That and other surprises in our By the Numbers. Stick with us.
On the vacation of a lifetime.
Oh my God, Albert!
Suddenly, inches away from losing her life.
Did you think you were going to die?
I did. Jennifer Lewis, at the height of her career, made millions laugh on Blackish. And then...
She needs an ambulance! Hurry! This is the first time people are hearing this story.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but I do know I have to earn being alive.
The emotional Robin Roberts exclusive breaks Tuesday on ABC's Good Morning America. You should see me in the crowd. Gonna run, there's nothing to That's when we come down one by one.
The strongest females fight for the survival of their families.
One by one.
Oh, hey, the queens.
You should see me in a crowd.
Jimmy Kimmel, what'll it be? Will you go back to your normal Oscars night of sitting alone on the couch scrolling TikTok and eating churros? Or will you accept the awesome responsibility of hosting the Oscars, taking on with it all the attendant expectations, pressures, and scrutiny? The choice is yours.
The churro for sure, yeah.
No, man, you're supposed to... Why do all the beautiful dummies come to me for advice?
The Oscars, live, Sunday, March 10th, at a new time on ABC.
You want a bite?
tonight. This is a story about a beautiful young woman who goes on spring break and her life intersects with a monster.
There have been no reported sightings of 17-year-old who went missing.
A mystery for years. Now, for the first time, exclusive interviews with the investigators who solved it.
Now, all new details into the hidden life of a killer.
It still feels so raw.
Into the Darkness, the all-new 2020, tonight at 9/8 Central on ABC. Why do so many people start their day here?
This is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories. Listen now to the Daily News Podcast honored with 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards. Start Here, ABC News. Make it your daily first listen, wherever you get your podcasts. Start Here.
Reporting from the campaign trail here in South Carolina, I'm Rachel Scott. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Welcome back, everyone, to our Red Carpet Academy Awards preview. We have a superlative list of potential Oscars firsts, records, and milestones by the numbers. 13 times Christopher Nolan has been nominated for Best Director but denied the Golden Statue. Could Oppenheimer end the streak? 92 years old and still making movies sing. John Williams is the oldest person to ever be nominated for an Oscar. And at 22 and 26 years old, Billie Eilish and Phineas would become the youngest Oscar winners to win 2 awards in history if the brother and sister duo win Best Song for Barbie's What Was I Made For? 10 Best Director nominations make Martin Scorsese the most nominated director. He even edges out Steven Spielberg, although Scorsese has only actually won 1 so far. We'll see if that changes with Killers of the Flower Moon. And speaking of Killers of the Flower Moon, 49 years. That's how long it's been since Robert De Niro's last Oscar nomination. He now holds the record for the longest Oscar gap. 33% of this year's nominees are women, and for the first time, 3 of the Best Picture nominated films were directed by women. 7 actors of color are nominated this year. American Fiction is making Oscar history with 2 black actors, Jeffrey Wright and Sterling K. Brown, nominated in the lead and supporting categories for the same film. And Killers of the Flower Moon's Lily Gladstone is the first Native American to be nominated for lead actress. 2 openly gay actors, Rustin's Coleman Domingo and Naiad's Jodie Foster, are nominated for playing openly gay characters. Yet another Oscars first. Then there's this fun fact. This red carpet is still covered up right now with plastic to be protected. 50,000 square feet of it took workers, 18 workers, 600 hours to install, costing $27,400. And there's still much more ahead here on Prime tonight. We'll break down some of that Oscar drama that just might unfold here in the categories of Best Director and Best Picture. And as part of our Maui Strong series, the women there making a difference in the island's rebirth.
Whenever, wherever news breaks, it's so important to always remember that lives are changed.
Here in London, in Buffalo, Uvalde, Texas, Edinburgh, Scotland, from Poland once again tonight. Thank you so much for streaming with us. Ukrainian refugees here in Warsaw. Do you think you'll ever be able to go back home? We're heading to a small community outside of Mexico City. Splintered houses and splintered lives. The magnitude of the devastation. You're streaming ABC News Live. Reporting from Rolling Fork, Mississippi, Santa Fe, New Mexico, Raleigh, North Carolina, the U.S. Capitol, Mayfield, Kentucky, Minneapolis, Mexico, Tongass National Forest, Alaska.
Getting you behind the stories as they happen, giving you a front row seat to our world as it plays out in real time, live.
ABC News Live Prime. We'll take you there.
Stream ABC News Live weeknights, America's most honored streaming news program, only on ABC News Live. Streaming free right now wherever you stream your news.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
Yet another avalanche warning that's up.
To catch you up with what happened overnight. A dangerous ice storm is impacting the morning commute.
What's happening today? Escalating tensions in the Middle East.
What people are talking about. The migrant crisis.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
How does billionaire sound?
Sounds good to me. The moose started chasing a dog.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers.
In Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
From the capital.
Destructive Cat 4 storm.
You're along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
Whenever, wherever news breaks, it's so important to always remember that lives are changed. Here in London, in Buffalo, Uvalde, Texas, Edinburgh, Scotland.
Reporting from Rolling Fork, Mississippi, Ukrainian refugees here in Warsaw.
We're heading to a small community outside of Mexico City, getting you behind the stories as they happen. ABC News Live Prime. We'll take you there.
Stream ABC News Live weeknights wherever you stream your news. Only on ABC News Live.
Get ready, America, every Friday.
The hottest trends, styles, and must-have. What's the right stuff to buy right now? I really love that. It's time to buy the right stuff.
Yes!
And save big time, too.
The right stuff.
Fridays on GMA. You're going to love it.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories. Start here.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Make it your daily first listen wherever you get your podcasts. What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
We are part of an operation.
Is this our combat operations center?
We're approaching the gate. Militants came in from different directions. Nuclear reactor. So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag.
Not a carry in it.
How important it made the USA. Great work.
Hi. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Ismail? David.
I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
Watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
Yeah, but then it doesn't work when you're like,
Welcome back now in our latest installment of Maui Strong. The devastating wildfires there killed more than 100 people and scorched the historic town of Lahaina. And it's women, largely, who stepped in to preserve the island's unique ecosystem and ensure that families can remain and rebuild on what is treasured property.
Aloha Keokua, the ancestors, all those who have come before us.
In the months after devastating fires, as thousands heal, the wahine, or women of Maui, are stepping up and taking charge, tackling issues from the housing crisis to the environment.
I ask for your mana to come through so strong.
This is Ka'io Martin. She's a Maui grandmother, an environmental activist.
Stop the desecration, stop the dumping of the toxic waste.
And she's giving this ho'okupu, or offering, to her ancestors.
We'll lay this upon this first burial here as we enter onto this aina.
In hopes they will give her the strength to battle Maui County's decision to temporarily dump 400,000 cubic yards of toxic fire debris on this hillside in Oluwalu. Fire debris that is tainted by arsenic and lead.
So we are in the Oluwalu Pu'uhonua. Right in back of us is the sacred site where the Oluwalu toxic waste dump is. Here across the street is the mother reef of Hawaii.
Ka'io is a direct descendant of the Iwi Kupuna, native Hawaiians who are buried on this very land.
Oluwalu, it's a complex of sacred sites. It is our constitutional right that these sites are protected. We are right now on the outside of Central Maui landfill.
And while the charred debris from homes and properties is contained in a plastic-lined pit, Ka'io says there is still fear that toxins could spread to their water system.
Here in Oluwalu are tremendous cave systems that run down into underwater springs. And under the dump site is where those springs are extremely close to the top of the aina. And that's one of the environmental concerns. There's no structural guarantee that there is not going to be contamination into the ecosystem surrounding them, above, below, side to side.
Caillo says she plans to file a public nuisance injunction against the county this week.
It's basically a cease and desist and for oversight to come in.
Days ago, the county announcing all of the toxic debris will permanently move from its temporary site in Oluwalu to Central Maui landfill across town. Nearly 40,000 truckloads of debris to be transported. Meanwhile, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers continues to clear land in fire-ravaged Lahaina so property owners can return and rebuild.
There's been a hurriedness and a rush to clear Lahaina, which we do need to do, but we need to do it in a very smart way, in a good way.
Keisha Joy has been a marine biologist for more than 30 years.
I've been in this room many times, and I know many of you council members.
Keisha speaking out regularly against the debris dump sites, concerned about their long-term impact.
Hawaii has the single most rich ecosystems of our planet.
Do you feel like we're currently in trouble?
I feel like we are teetering on some very, very sensitive areas where we're putting this toxic ash.
The County of Maui says the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service reviewed the Oluwalu site to ensure there were no significant environmental concerns. They say environmental samples will be reported and made public every 90 days. Their first report expected April 22nd. While these wahine fight for the land, others are fighting to ensure it stays in Lahaina hands.
One of our missions is to be empowering for the Lahaina community, to be able to live here, to thrive here and prosper here, and to engage with this place like we have for generations.
Carolyn Alve-Loa was born and raised in Lahaina.
Lahaina is my ku'one hanau, the sands of my birth. It's my mother.
She created the Lahaina Land Trust, now a 501c3 nonprofit that can offer to buy properties from families instead of those families selling to developers.
I was the first one to vocalize the crazy idea. We had this very, very real sense of foreboding for the possibility of these land grabs, of disaster capitalists that might try to come into Lahaina and take advantage of people that are in a really vulnerable position, and started to think about, well, what could we put in place to help push back against that.
Tamara Paulton is currently president of the Land Trust.
As time goes on, we do hear very often of another family moving away, another family moving away, and so it's very like we're under the gun to succeed and succeed fast.
The Land Trust providing another alternative to homeowners that are financially unable to rebuild and forced to sell their property.
Perhaps there's a family that was underinsured or not insured, multi-generational, inherited the house, and don't have the resources to rebuild. And they may be forced with the need to sell their property. The Land Trust could be able to pay them for their property, hold it in the trust, and then engage with them in a lease capacity. We're talking about 99-year lease terms.
And while the nonprofit says it has received significant corporate and private donations, the reaction from the community has been mixed.
Some folks are just, naysayers. They're like, oh, what do they think they're going to do, save all of Lahaina? And it's like, really, if we're able to save one property, that's one property that's saved.
The Land Trust operates from this makeshift workspace, sandwiched between two shipping containers in Napili.
We work until 11 or 12 at night most days.
Autumn Ness is a Land Trust organizer and no stranger to natural disasters. She moved to Lahaina after surviving the Fukushima nuclear accident in 2011.
I kind of saw what happens after big disaster and what happens to family land, and when corporations come in and they're better resourced than the local people, and how it changes the entire makeup of a community over time. It's almost like the second disaster after a disaster.
Autumn working tirelessly for her community. After the fire, she transformed a hunger fund into a fire relief fund, co-founding the Hub.
We got all this food for y'all. A lot of us started thinking, what leads people to have to sell, right? When the aid leaves, when they're feeling desperate, when they feel like they don't have any choices left, when their options are gone and they've got kids to feed, how do we systematically remove some of those stressors and remove all of the reasons people might think I have to sell my land.
They now provide more than 100 generational families with free groceries for more than a year.
If we can collectively keep them fed, keep them housed, keep them supported, and just with everything we can do, let them know that we want you to hang on to your land, just don't leave.
Ka'akahonua ike kapa aka wahine. The world turns on the fabric made by the woman. Wahine are mothers, wahine are fighters, wahine are creators, wahine are a lot.
Our thanks to Jacqueline Lee for that. And joining us once again from the red carpet for final thoughts, ABC News contributor Mike Muse and ABC Entertainment reporter Miss Kelly Carter. All right, guys, who walks away with Best Director? Kelly, we'll start with you.
I mean, Christopher Nolan. I think that's pretty much the general consensus of what we should expect on Sunday.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah.
Same.
He's a lock.
Yeah.
Like, he's a lock.
No question.
No questions
All right,
asked.
second place, if you had to hedge your bet.
I'm not even going to do that, Lindsay. That's how secure I feel.
Wow.
That's how secure I feel.
See how steady this hand is?
Look, I'm not even shaking. That's why I'm going to shake it. Audience go all in for Christopher Nolan.
All right,
Yeah,
wow,
go all
okay.
in. But there's only two people you can do that for this whole season.
All right, who's the second one?
Devon Joy.
Yes.
I'm going to say a third person.
Oh, there's a third?
Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So you don't. So potentially, you think, other than Devine, it's an Oppenheimer sweep or what?
I don't know if it's an Oppenheimer sweep. I do think Oppenheimer is going to dominate, bring it home. I think they're going to have a really great night. I think American Fiction will get Corey Jefferson for screenplay.
Adapted screenplay,
What about Best Picture?
I don't think it would get Best Picture, but I think it has a shot to get Best Picture.
Who do you think is going to get Best Picture?
You're asking some really tough questions, Lindsay. Now the hand is starting to shake. America, now my hand is shaking.
What do you think?
It's Oppenheimer.
Okay.
I think it's absolutely Oppenheimer. Now, would I love to see American Fiction win Best Picture? Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was my favorite film of the cycle, but Oppenheimer is going to just take that one home, I feel
I know, but I'm really leaning with Zone of Interest, too.
I know you
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah,
I don't
you
know
like
why,
that Zone of
but it's
Interest, boy.
Yeah.
It's just the way that folks are talking about it this late in the game, and everyone keeps using the word masterful film, right? And everyone keeps saying that if there was a film that should be awarded for like it all encompassing, it should be this film. Like, it's a technical film, like technically made
He
film.
loves Zone of Interest.
Right?
Right.
But American Fiction too. So
Okay.
it's just if somebody's gonna unseat Oppenheimer, I think it's gonna be one of those.
I would be the happiest camper in the Dolby if that happened.
So I'm going to
But
do a
Oppenheimer.
flip of this.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything you think could just totally get snubbed and walk away without anything?
God, you're good. Barbie, with the exception
Really?
of Billie Eilish, except for the song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's the expectation is that Billie Eilish wins, and that's probably the only thing that Barbie walks away with the win for on Sunday.
Yeah, but I think Barbie might be a little disappointed after Sunday night.
Yeah.
Anything in 10 seconds you think might be a big surprise? Big upset?
If Divine Joy does not win.
Oh, okay. All right.
upset.
Fair enough.
I think that would be a problem for a lot of things. Yeah.
We'll leave it there with that final thought. Mike Muse, Kelly Carter. We look so forward to this opportunity with you every year.
So fun with you, Lindsay.
And so we thank you all so much for joining us and watching ABC News Live. You can tune in to the Countdown to Oscars on the Red Carpet Live. I'll be hosting alongside my guy, Whit Johnson. We spoke with the biggest stars and nominees. That's Sunday, March 10th. Coverage begins at 1 p.m. Eastern right here on ABC News Live. And also be sure to catch our brand new special, Road to the Oscars, featuring all of our conversations with the 2024 Oscar nominees, coming up next right here on ABC News Live and also streaming on Hulu. And that is our show for tonight. From here in Los Angeles, I'm Lindsay Davis. ABC News Live is here for you all night with the latest news, context, and analysis. Yes, Kelly is so gorgeous. You can always find us on Hulu, Roku, Pluto TV, the ABC News app, and of course on abcnews.com. The news never stops. There you see the red carpet. Thanks so much for streaming with us. Have a good night.
do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories.
A lot of news today, so let's get into it.
Listen now to the Daily News Podcast honored with 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards and see why the New York Times calls it a news podcast worth listening to. Start Here, ABC News. Make it your daily first listen.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Wherever you get your podcasts, start here.
It's lunchtime in America, so what are we serving up?
Well, how about everything you need to know?
You know, that sounds pretty good.
Give it to me. Your health, your money, breaking news, pop culture with the biggest stars, music, trends, and of course, good food. GMA 3, what you need to know. A third hour of GMA in the afternoon.
So join us, Afternoons.
For everything you need to know.
I love that.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers.
In Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
From the capital.
Destructive Cat 4 storm.
You're along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7 straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Erica Jane.
Celebrity attorney Tom Girardi.
This story was a nuclear explosion.
Today, several victims will get a chance to finally meet Erica Girardi.
I'm at sort of a loss for what to say.
Did you see the documentary?
The Housewife and the Hustler? I did.
I wanted Erica to say, I'm sorry, face to face.
Erica, why did it take you so long?
The Housewife and the Hustler 2, only on Hulu.
You should see me in the crowd. Gonna run this nothing down. Watch me looking down. One by one.
The strongest females fight for the survival of their families.
One by one.
Oh, hey, the queens.
You should see me in the crowd.
Whenever, wherever news breaks, it's so important to always remember that lives are changed. Here in London, in Buffalo, Uvalde, Texas, Edinburgh, Scotland. Reporting from Rolling Fork, Mississippi. Ukrainian refugees here in Warsaw. We're heading to a small community outside of Mexico City. Getting you behind the stories as they happen. ABC News Live Prime. We'll take you there.
Stream ABC News Live weeknights wherever you stream your news. Only on ABC News Live.
Reporting from Monterey Park, California, I'm Robin Roberts. Wherever the story is, we're going to take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Hello, and thanks so much for streaming with us here on ABC News Live. I'm Lindsay Davis. The biggest night in Hollywood is upon us, the glitz and glamour that only the Oscars can bring. But tonight we look beyond the red carpet to learn about the stories, themes, and messages inside our favorite films nominated by the Academy in our road to the Oscars. 2 of the year's biggest movies were calls to feminism, where we get a peek through the looking glass of 2 women experiencing the world for the very first time. And then there's the power of love, family, and relationships, how it can evolve through the years, and the importance of friendship during dark times and grief. We start with a trio of Oscar nominees you'll likely enjoy spending some time with. One of the year's most talked about films was Poor Things, a reimagining of the classic Frankenstein, flipped into a feminist fantasy coming of age, all set in a fantastical world. The film earned 11 Oscar nods, including Best Picture, Best Actress in a Leading Role for Emma Stone, Best Supporting Actor for Mark Ruffalo, and Best Adapted Screenplay for writer Tony McNamara. In our road to the Oscars, I got a chance to sit down with all 3 to talk about the boundary-busting movie and just how unique the filming experience was for them all.
This is Bella. Bella, this is Mr. McCandles.
Hello, Bella.
Emma, let's start with you. You have talked about Bella Baxter as probably the greatest character you'll ever get to play. How so?
She's just not comparable to anyone because she doesn't have a history. She's discovering the world in a brand new way every second of every day.
I am Bella Baxter, and there is a world to enjoy, circumnavigate.
She's so special. I don't know that I'll ever get a chance to play someone that doesn't have shame and doesn't have self-judgment and is just so free.
And Mark, we don't often see you in a villain role. One writer put it that it's the extremely punchable Duncan. What did you think about taking on that kind of villain?
I just found it to be incredibly freeing and light and a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
You're always reading now, Bella. You're losing some of your adorable way of speaking.
Unlike any role you've ever played.
Totally, completely unlike anything I'd ever done. And I think in a lot of ways, a role that a lot of people thought was surprising. That's really delightful to have that at the latter half of a career, to be able to have people who believe in you to do something you've never done.
And you've talked about Bella's role in the way of a growth of a tree. When you first read the script, what were you envisioning of her character?
I didn't know how any of it was going to be. I loved the journey of it, and I loved that there was this woman who was sort of in a 38-year-old woman's body, but a child who has no conditioning as a woman and just goes through her life free of all that conditioning. That sort of dictates who we're supposed to. What am I doing?
It's just every time you say how old Bella is, like in a number, you age her out. Like at first you were like in a 30-year-old woman's body, and then like a month goes by and you're like 32, and then you're like 35, and now she's 38. Like, I'm 35 right now, but I guess Bella's 38 now. Even though this was 2 years ago when we made it. But it's fine. It's
She's
just
aging
funny.
like Benjamin Button.
She's aged by 8 years since you started doing interviews.
And Tony, when I first sat down, I saw the movie really early before there was any real thought about, whether this was going to be an Oscar nominee. And I didn't know much about the movie. And I couldn't decide at first, is this a comedy? Is this like a really dark movie? And how did you go about bringing all these genres together?
I think it was just that was the trick of the whole piece from the start. It was dark because it had this premise, but it was also sort of Frankenstein.
This is Bella. She's an experiment.
It was a coming-of-age movie and a comedy, but it was a satire about men and control, but it was also basically about this wonderful character who just threw herself at life without any of society's fingerprints on her, and she would just experience things as she experienced them. So I think it was like knowing all those pieces and just kind of try and make it unified.
Emma, when you won your Oscar a few years back, you talked about how there was still so much that you needed to learn. How do you think getting that first win under your belt has changed you as an actor?
I still feel very much like I have a lot of learning and growing and work to do. So it's been really exciting and lucky to be able to kind of, try things and to take chances. And also, as an actor, you learn really early on that everything is sort of temporary and fleeting. A career goes in many ebbs and flows, and you're not always going to get the opportunities that you get in a certain time period. So I know that this is a very wonderful time period to be able to make choices, because that's really not always the case.
How is this movie unlike anything else you've ever done?
I think it is unlike anything else because I think the style of it and Yorgos's vision for it was so different, and it always felt like it was a unique piece with unique characters. So for me, it was
adaptation.
And my first time I've ever adapted a book. So in that way, it was like a whole new world in a way, and cinematically, it was like it felt like we were doing something quite different.
For many, Barbie brings up happy and cheerful memories. While the film is packed with childhood nostalgia, it also asks some very forward-thinking questions, many of which are posed by Gloria, played by America Ferrera. As she's contemplating some of life's biggest choices, she's taken on a bright and bumpy adventure to restore balance in the Barbie world. I sat down with Ferrera to talk about her role, Latino representation, and the film she believes should have landed her an Oscar nomination decades ago.
Oscar nominee for Best Supporting Actress, America Ferrera, has a ring to it, right?
It's
Still very surreal to hear out loud, yeah.
You said actually after the movie wrapped that you felt like it would change the world. Has it, Barbie, impacted the movement, if you will? Has it met your expectations?
I think it's fully surpassed them, yeah. I mean, when I first read the script, I was just so giddy with how it subverted anyone's expectations of what a Barbie movie might be or try to be. And as we were making it, it felt super special.
I love rollerblades. Where are we going? Barbie Land. What? Mom, are you really going to let Barbie take you and your tween daughter to an imaginary land? Yes, and you want to know why? Because I never get to do anything. I didn't even go on that cruise I won at your school raffle because I didn't have enough vacation days and your dad's allergic to sun.
I could have never known every record and history-making moment that this movie would be a part of. And more importantly, you know, the kind of global impact on the audiences and how many conversations it's created.
And give us a sense of this moment, because you've talked before about being the Latina actress who finally gets invited to the party.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think that it's very clear that there's been very limited participation from Latina and Latino actors and actresses at the Academy Awards in all categories. And that's about the opportunities that exist, right? You can't win awards for roles and opportunities that don't exist.
Hello? Humans, we're fine.
This is a character that is pivotal to the story, has so much to do, and none of the reasons that she's in the movie is to be a Latina and to check a box and to be a body type or an ethnicity. That, to me, is a distinction, that we get to exist as full and complicated and dimensional humans.
Tell us about the monologue. 2 minutes, 17 seconds. It starts with, "It is literally impossible to be a woman."
It is literally impossible to be a woman. You are so beautiful and so smart, and it kills me that you don't think you're good enough. Like, we have to always be extraordinary. But somehow we're always doing it wrong.
How did that come about?
When Greta sent the script, she had written to me and said, "We wrote this, your voice has been in my head all this time. There's this monologue that I am calling Gloria's aria." So I went into it knowing that, like, okay, Gloria has this moment that really has to work for a lot of it to then unfold.
On some level, many have talked about the nostalgia of the movie and Barbie, but growing up, I read that you didn't actually have Barbie dolls.
No, I didn't. I didn't have Barbie dolls, and I didn't really play with Barbie dolls. We couldn't afford them. I didn't really feel like represented in that world. I never imagined in my life that I would be in a Barbie movie or that I would care about a Barbie movie, but they did it. It wasn't a movie for little girls playing with Barbie dolls. It was for all of us, men, women, young, old, around the world.
Tell us about that moment that you found out that you were nominated, because I know you actually reenacted it.
I did. I was home alone, in my pajamas in bed, lying down with my little phone, watching it. I didn't even scream out loud. I sort of like, I gasped. And it didn't feel real. And then my phone started blowing up. And then I was like, I think it's real. I think it actually happened. And my husband called me from the car and he was screaming. And then my kids were screaming, "Why are you screaming?" And it was chaos, but it was happy chaos.
And just lastly, just 2 quick lightning round questions. Your first paid acting job?
My first paid acting job where I was cast in a role was the Disney Channel movie Gotta Kick It Up. I played Yolanda on a junior high drill team.
The first role you had when you knew, I'm gonna really do this?
I think it was Gotta Kick It Up. I mean, I was pretty sure I would be nominated for an Academy Award for Gotta Kick It Up.
Even back then.
Yeah. I was really disappointed in the Academy to learn that they didn't consider Disney Channel movies. So, you know, 17-year-old America is wondering what took so long. Yes. But it was a surprise. It was a shock to learn that I wasn't going to be considered.
All right, thank you so much for your time, America.
But of course, better late than never. Our thanks to America for that conversation. Up next in our road to the Oscars, from his mind to the paper to the screen, our Chris Connolly sits down with Bradley Cooper to talk about his passion project, Maestro, and Carey Mulligan's unwavering support. And
She is the breakout star of award season. My conversation with the incredible Davine Joy Randolph about how this is all just the beginning.
When was that first role when you said, I can do this?
You know what's crazy? I have very bad imposter syndrome. And I think it's because of, especially, I never desired or saw this in my path. And so I guess maybe this might be the beginning.
Israel, a nation at war after that brutal surprise attack by Hamas.
On the ground in Ukraine, reporting from Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this little town.
From the most devastating disaster in Hawaii.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
In Iceland, let's go.
Traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
From the front lines. From southern Israel.
Outside the Gaza Strip.
In Beirut.
From the FBI.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is, we're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live. Streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news.
Everything is so fine. Little bit of sunshine. Some more, just a little bit. Breathe more, just a little bit. Smile a little more, and I'm into it. I've been running through the strange life. Pictures on my phone, like everything is so fine. Little bit of sunshine.
Good morning, America.
What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
We are part of an operation.
Is this our Combat Operations Center?
We're approaching the gate. Militants came in from different directions. Nuclear reactor. So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag.
Not a tear in it.
How important it made the USA.
Great work.
Hi, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Ismail?
David.
David.
I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
Watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
I'm Medea Villarreal in Houston, Texas. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming with ABC News Live. This next film takes the idea of a biopic and turns it on its head. Instead of examining a life story, it examines a love story. Maestro takes us inside the marriage of American composer Leonard Bernstein and his wife Felicia. For Bradley Cooper, the project was truly an act of passion. He wrote, produced, directed, and starred in Maestro, earning Oscar nods for Best Picture, Best Actor in a Leading Role, and Original Screenplay. His co-star, Carey Mulligan, earned her own Oscar nomination for Best Actress in a Leading Role. Our Chris Connolly spoke to the pair about the roles and how the Bernstein children were able to give them the ultimate glimpse into who their parents were at their core.
I'm thinking of a number.
Oh, I don't know. 9.
No.
5.
No, you have to think.
I'm trying to.
It's 2, darling.
2.
It's 2. Like us. Like us, a pair. 2 little ducks in a pond.
I almost don't know where to start with you on this, Bradley, except that I noticed one of the Bernstein children said there was so much that they discovered that you and Lenny had in common. Intensity, artistic dedication, and hugs. You've heard a lot of wonderful things about your movie. What is it like to hear from the Bernstein children that you mattered that much?
It meant everything to us. They're the toughest critics. We knew that going in. And so when they connected with the movie, it was a special thing that I'll never forget. Because they also, they're straight shooters. They tell like it is. They don't soften anything. They are the children of their parents. And so that was probably the biggest gift we had, the three of them, for this film. We had so much access to truth of the reality of the situation, of what it was like, and they just emit their parents, even in the way they interact, the way they speak, everything. So it was invaluable. So the fact that they loved it meant everything.
How would you describe the journey you've taken as an actor to being in this project? You say that this project was something different for you as a performer.
It was, yeah. I mean, I think I always felt like lots of jobs were kind of a fluke, that I'd be like, oh, now I'm in this thing. And, and I didn't, just sort of trying to figure things out as I went along and not really feeling like I could, commit properly to things sometimes because I felt just a lot of fear around, particularly work on camera. Just found it nerve-wracking. And I think this was just the first time working with an actor that I trust implicitly, but also a director that I trust implicitly, that I was able to just sort of, let go and have fun.
Wow.
Really sink in.
I suppose it's a difference. It's a personality difference which occurs between any composer versus any creator versus any performer.
How did you manage both of all three of these jobs to make it work for you?
I don't really see them as three separate jobs at all. I think maybe that's the way. They all feel like one thing, and hopefully that then it's just creating a world, creating the structure to invite incredible artists to come in and explore. And when I was watching Carrie, I was just thinking about, as you were talking, the great movies. You tell me that there was a cast and a crew and there were cameras rolling. I just feel like it was real. I actually felt that when I was acting with her, I forgot. I mean, she made me believe I was Lenny, just by what she was doing. I've never really experienced it to that degree before.
How did you find who Felicia was so that you could be that?
I think what was working with Bradley really did was that he took away the fear around things. It just wasn't about being afraid of stuff.
And you're the understudy.
Yeah.
No, I think you should be Margaret. I think you should be Margaret 8 shows a week. That's what I think, front and center. And if it's fear that's stopping you, Felicia...
There are many things stopping me, Lenny, but fear isn't one of them. I wouldn't be standing here in front of you. Heavens, I wouldn't even be in New York City if fear got the better of me. It's just not that easy.
There was no part of this that was an easy go for anyone, most particularly for him, but it was just the most enormous swing. And when you see someone doing it like that with zero fear, it just changes your perspective on things. And I just saw him, writing this and directing this and acting in this with just absolutely no fear. And then I genuinely think everyone around him just went, oh, okay, we're safe. We can just follow the lead here.
I hear what Carrie is saying, but you did have some fear, didn't you? There were moments when you were genuinely fearful.
The first day of shooting, I was terrified because I wasn't sure if Lenny was going to be there, and it was the scene where he's teaching young William at the end of the movie was our first day of shooting. I was terrified at that, but I was smart enough to ask one of my best friends since grad school to play Lenny's assistant, and he was there in that Jaguar with me, and just having Gabe there, who I'd done Place Beyond the Pines with and A Star Is Born also. That was really comforting.
What are you proudest of from what you did?
My friendships on the film, for sure. Friendships with her, and with one of them being right here.
God bless you both.
Forging friendships and a few Oscar nominations. Not too shabby. Our thanks to Chris for that. Finally tonight, she is the breakout star of award season. This is Da'Vine Joy Randolph's moment, and she is shining. The actress earned her first ever Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress as her role as Mary Lamb in The Holdovers, the head cook at an all-boys school who's in the midst of grief after the loss of her son in the war. Da'Vine told me that Mary was a role that helped her connect to herself and to others, and she adds, this is just the beginning.
You can think about it, some silly girl.
I don't need you feeling sorry for me.
See? I'm just saying, this was the first good thing that came with being in this prison with you.
How did you find out that you were nominated?
I had just came back from Paris for a Schiaparelli show, and I was walking in the door, and we had like an hour before it was going to it. I normally don't watch it. I get very nervous, but my team forced me. So I took a shower, had some soup, and then I came out and sat on the couch, and I saw it. It was so crazy.
You mentioned in your speech from the Golden Globes how Mary changed your life.
And to the character Mary, oh, Mary, you have changed my life. You have made me feel seen in so many ways that I have never imagined, and I hope I helped you in all. I hope I helped you all find your inner Mary, because there's a little bit of her in all of us.
How has she changed your life?
I've always watched certain performances and thought to myself, I would love to, as a black woman, be able to convey these same things and to make an ordinary, everyday woman special and unique for people to connect to.
I had you guys stuck with babysitting duty this year. How'd you manage that?
By me going through this journey and being willing to go down this emotional and challenging path, the gift has been bountiful. And the biggest one being me connecting with people and people sharing with me how this work is impacting them.
And neither of them made it to 25. My baby wasn't even 20.
I'm so sorry.
I took this job when Curtis was small because I wanted to ensure that he was going to have a good education. You know, he flourished here.
Yes. No, he was a great kid. I had him one semester. Very insightful.
He hated you.
Well, like I said, sharp kid, insightful.
When was that first role when you said, I can do this?
You know what's crazy? I have very bad imposter syndrome. And I think it's because of, especially, I never desired or saw this in my path. And so I guess maybe this might be the beginning. I'm seeing the spiritual, emotional impact that it's having on people, less of like my skill set, but more of the impact.
You've described your journey as the game Chutes and Ladders.
Yes.
How so?
Well, you know, this industry at large, you're not in control. That's a blessing about this job. That mixed in with rejection, you're not in control. And it's anybody's game. And so you have to find stability within yourself to fortify yourself in your truth, have confidence, and be able to weather the monstrous storm. And so that's why in these moments, again, the connection with the people is a thing that has me coming back. If you know it's already gonna be Chutes and Ladders, you better love the game as a whole. Just love the game of Chutes and Ladders and know how to enjoy the entire process and be able to accept the highs with humility and to accept the challenges of the lows with grace. And that, I think, has helped me to be able to stay consistent in the pursuit.
Sometimes people, when they say, you know, Mom and Dad, I want to be an actor, and their parents are not supportive at all. But you say your parents have been...
Something that my parents have always instilled in me was, we will support you no matter what you do. My parents are educators, so me getting a good education, me doing my very best and being the best at it that I can potentially be, as long as I gave my best, my parents were okay with whatever I did.
And watching the Oscars was something you all did as a family?
Yeah, it was like the Olympics, you know what I mean? Or like the Grammys. It was just something every year that we would watch and look forward to. So this is gonna be a trip to be in the audience with them.
What was your first paid acting job ever?
Wow, my first paid acting job was actually Robin Williams' last movie. It's called The Angriest Man in Brooklyn. I played his nurse. He poured into me, and I'll never forget how that man was so generous and sought me out to encourage me and impart wisdom.
Anything you can share with us that you remember?
Well, he said you must love it because it's very hard and taxing on your family, on you, on your body, on your mind, and to really love it and to don't do it for selfish reasons. He truly showed the world through his gift to be kind and to love one another through his laughter and joy, and as well as the dramatic roles that he was in. He was for the people, and he used his gift for good.
And just last question, you've said you're just beginning. That we haven't even seen anything yet. What would you like to do? If you can, from your lips to God's ears, your next role, what would you like to show?
I think the next thing that we will begin tackling is to portray a Black opera singer, Leontine Price, as a way of merging two of my gifts together and kind of reclaiming music and singing back for myself. I think that would be quite powerful. Yeah.
Okay, I'm here for it.
Thank you.
Thank you. All the best to you.
Thank you
Good
so
luck.
much.
We'll be rooting for you.
We will certainly look forward to that. And our thanks to Dave Vine for the conversation. Thank you so much for joining us on the road to the Oscars. Be sure to catch the Oscars pre-show. I'll be hosting live on the red carpet with Whit Johnson for Countdown to Oscars, featuring the biggest stars and nominees. That's next Sunday, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern, right here on ABC News Live.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories.
A lot of news today, so let's get into it.
Listen now to the Daily News Podcast honored with 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards and see why the New York Times calls it a news podcast worth listening to. Start Here, ABC News. Make it your daily first listen.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Wherever you get your podcasts, start here.
On the vacation of a lifetime.
Oh my God, Ellen
Suddenly, inches away from losing her life.
Did you think you were going to die? I did.
Jennifer Lewis, at the height of her career, made millions laugh on Blackish. And then...
She needs an ambulance. Hurry!
This is the first time people are hearing this story.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but I do know I have to earn being alive.
The emotional Robin Roberts exclusive breaks Tuesday on ABC's Good Morning America.
You should see me in the crowd. Gonna run, there's nothing to about. Watch me looking down, one.
The strongest females fight for the survival of their families. Oh, hey, the queens.
You should see me in a crowd.
What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
We are part of an operation.
Is this our combat operations center?
We're approaching the gate. Militants came in from different directions. Nuclear reactor. So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag...
Not a pair in it.
How important it made the USA.
Great work. Hi, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Ismail?
David. I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
Watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast. ABC News, America's #1 news source.
Reporting from the scene of the subway shooting in the Bronx, I'm Trevor Alt. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.